Well, let's start off with this question. How many of you know of a family who has a loved one in the military? Well, out of all this family, most of them struggle on a day-to-day basis for many different reasons. Well, from the information I've learned from Richard Burr's website and from personally knowing military families, I want to educate you on why society should help support military families. I'm going to be telling you why they struggle, how it affects the military families, and what we can do as a society to help these families out. We're going to first start off with why these families are struggling. There's both benefits and struggles to this issue. Military families are the backbone of our servicemen. It is essential that the military families are supported. Without them being supported, military men are always worrying about their families, and if they're worrying about their families, they cannot perform well out on the field or wherever they are at. And along with that comes the issue of depression, stress, financial issues. All of those lead to, are the servicemen, what they're thinking when they're over wherever they're at. If they have to worry about their families being stressed out or not having enough money, they're not going to perform well. So it's always so important that all the families are supported. Well, Richard Burr, the Senator of North Carolina, believes that every military family deserves to be supported because of everything they've been through. Richard Burr and Barbara Boxer in 2012 created the Military Family Caucus. This is a quote from Schreiner of Political website. The quote is, "The caucus aims to substantively address issues including child care, education, and employment, health care, and the effects of multiple deployments on the mental health and well-being of spouses, caregivers, and children." And now I'm going to say how it affects the family and the problems it causes. Here are some reasons why they struggle specifically. The economic and job security. Their jobs. When families have to move from town to town because of their spouse being relocated, it's really hard on their job. It could ruin their career path. So they try to help them stay in the same field but just be relocated. It's sometimes really stressful. Same on education. Education is a big deal, and military usually pays for all college education. The cool thing about this, I should say, is that if a military member doesn't want that education, they can transfer it down to their spouse or their child or anything like that, so it's not wasted. And plus, it doesn't give them the burden of having to worry about, where am I going to get this money to help my wife or child go through college. It's nice that they can just transfer it down the line of generations. How it affects the family, though, and the servicemen. The stress of the servicemen, like I said before, it's crazy. If they're stressed out, they're not going to perform well wherever they're at, and that causes deep trouble for America. But also, it's really bad on families too. All this of having a loved one in the military affects it greatly, because sometimes always having to relocate or having to do this and this and this just because you're supporting that military member, it could be holding you back from a lot of things. Maybe you can't get a job and keep it because you always have to move around, and same with school. You can't meet all these friends, you can't do all this stuff because you're always moving around. So it's really important that we support them and help them out through that. And third point of what we can do to help these people. As a society, there's many things we can do to help them. We can honor all the fallen people. There's projects where you send stuffed toys to the children of military parents, or you bring them these stuffed animals, and it makes them feel better, and knowing, and you can send another one to that parent and they have the same one, and it just helps the children cope with that. You can also make things personal. You can pay bills for there's websites where you can go on and you can pay a bill for a military family who can't get enough money because it's just not working out for them, or you can help buy diapers or anything. Even in your community, if you know a family in your community, you can help them mow one day or do their dishes or babysit for the afternoon and let them go do all the errands they need to do. There's also an amendment that was passed, and it's called the Military Spouse Amendment, and that helps with moving around and just having, so if you're relocated, the military or the serviceman is relocated, it helps that the spouse doesn't have to get there, change everything, pay for a new license plate and everything. They just go along, and it's like the servicemen, they don't have to do that. My opinion, I think every service family should be supported. I know in my hometown we have a family. His name is Rick Singer. He was deployed in Afghanistan, and while he was deployed, his daughter had a brain surgery and his wife got breast cancer. The whole community supported him and helped him out through that time, and it helped him deeply. By knowing why families struggle, how it affects them, and what society can do to help can change this issue forever. This is a very important issue, and with this knowledge, I hope you'd want to help the families of the ones who help us.